ssvid.net, GAN, the Writer Audio Network, the Simple Solutions Method, official audio and video. When I first created the Writer Audio Network, it was called GAN Strategy. And what GAN, the Writer Audio Network Strategy basically was an idea that I had fresh out of high school. But the idea I had for it was so hard to grasp. So I took a thoughtful note of the idea and all of the elements that applied to the piece itself, all on a notebook pad with lined paper. That is what I wrote it on. And I also made sure to keep that paper and many other papers that I had already finished writing on many times before, safe in an old binder that I later pitched out because of the fact that it got old and ruined. Worn out, torn. Only to then later find out or realize that I would replace the binder for a new one that had more storage and space in it, more room that is, and so that really helped me keep track of the idea for GAN strategy and many, many other ideas that would later come to my mind just a few months and days later, which also referred back to the original concept or idea of what the Writer Audio Network would be and what it would epically consist of. And no, I didn't throw the ideas away with the binder, just to let you know, so that you are aware of that ungiven notice. Alright, now having the idea on paper didn't mean that it was quite official yet. In fact, it took quite some time to gather up all of the thoughts for the project. Guys, I'm just going to refer back to, guys, remember earlier when I said that this idea came to me when I was fresh out of high school? Yes, that is true, but I didn't have a job yet at the time because I wasn't allowed one, and because I was too busy focusing on school. So in my free time, that is when I took big part in this idea. And I still had more ideas to come, even until now, most recently. I take part in writing my ideas down on paper still actually. In fact, it was an idea that hit me to write this project as well, and I even made this project to go along with my YouTube playlist album called the the Writer Audio Network Trilogy Single, in which I wrote, recorded, and released, way before I released both the second and third track on the Characters of Purpose The Sensation LP album playlist, which would have been finished if it weren't for my idea to talk to a couple good friends of mine, their names are Brett and Shannon Monahan, to make the second track together, which was, by reference, the second track that I would be working on with them at the time was called A Summer in 2020, in-depth description with reflective material, which, by the way, I give them full props for helping me come up with the ideas. So thanks to them, they get full credit, and even though they are not in the audio video, I am still going to acknowledge them for helping me out with the particular project. And just so you know, as of today, the time is now 4:47 p.m. Today is Thursday, April 14th, 2020. That was back when I wrote this. Just to let you know, it is now April 15th, 2022. That is when I wrote this part of the video, of course, but by now, I am sure you can tell that it is true that I take too long to write just one video. But as you know, I write all the time, and it is obviously true. I believe in it. It is true that it takes way longer for an artist or writer to create and refine their craft for releasing than it does for a typical viewer to watch the creator's video content and look at an artist's sketch work, piecework, if you gave things a time range. And that is obvious. And some people often consider it common sense, but that was just an interesting thing I brought up. So, in the midst, I know that I created this audio video to be the third official and final track in my playlist album called the G the Writer Audio Network Trilogy single, as I said a little bit earlier. But now I'm going to tell you that I released this video before I released the second and third track on the Characters of Purpose, the Sensation LP album playlist, because I wanted to make a complete album by following a scripted tracklist I plotted earlier in the year 2021 to 2022. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in. This was an official release from G the Writer Audio Network. I am trying to rebuild the channel, I hope you know. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks again.